If you want to hear more incoherent babble than Joe Biden at a press conference, go to YouTube and search out at NTTFGPOD. I'm Rock.
And I'm Archie.
Well, our opinions, they might not matter to some, but...
What are you doing in there?
It's a podcast.
Immature, crass, trashy. And those are their good qualities. These poor schmucks are a couple of IQ points away from eating paste. But when it comes to music, sports, and comedy, well, that's all they know. You're listening to
Not These Two Fucking Guys.
Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
I saw Beverly Hills Cop 3 or 4 the other day on Netflix.
I heard it was shit.
No.
It was good?
Yeah.
You liked it?
Take it from what it... Take it... It was a fucking Eddie Murphy comedy movie with action. A lot of good action in it.
Hey, real quick. I don't think Eddie Murphy ages.
Jesus Christ.
Good. How does he look so fucking good?
I think he's 63 years old. He looks like he's 47.
Barely. He looks good, man.
Looks fine.
Everybody out around him aged, and he didn't.
I watched it on Netflix the other night. My wife fell asleep. I did not. And I enjoyed the entire show. Was it the best fucking thing I've ever seen? No.
Were you high?
What? Oh, no.
Were you drinking?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a little tequila, but not a lot. Like I wasn't. It was just a little capper. A little capper.
Okay.
I thought the movie was good. Like I thought it was like, Beverly Hills Cop 4. Absolutely. It could have been
absolute F.
Yeah, it could have been a lot fucking worse. There were some parts that I was like, but I'd have to say 80% of the movie I was like, oh,
okay. All right, let's say it was the same plot, but it wasn't Beverly Hills Cop 4, which is a random fucking movie. Would you think the same?
If you threw in a different actor, yeah, no, probably not. But it was Eddie Murphy. Like,
what if you threw in a better actor than Eddie Murphy? You wouldn't have liked it.
Maybe not. But I enjoyed it though.
Maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself.
Another thing, the day before that, I watched. Have you ever heard of the comedian Rachel Feinstein?
Yes.
She's married to a captain from the FDNY. She pretty much rides that joke for 50 minutes. But the special is called Big Guy. He calls her Big Guy. Hey, Big Guy.
What up, big guy?
Yeah, and she dabbles into her family. Like she'll go to her mom. Like she said, she's Jewish, and I married a thick neck fucking beast of Italian fucking. He's doing fucking push-ups in the fucking playground as we're watching our kid. And what's my background? My father's name's like Harold, and he's got a permanent sinus infection. It was like I thought for some reason I wasn't gonna watch the whole thing, and I watched the whole thing, and I actually did enjoy it. And I saw her on a podcast called Your Mother's House with Christina P. and Tom Segura, that married couple. They have a Your Mother's House, the podcast, and she was funny on there. Like, I know she's been out for a while. But I don't know if this is her first Netflix special, but I really enjoyed it. I think you watch it because it's kind of like relatable. Like she's talking about fucking being married. I think she's from like Maryland, and she's talking about married to a New York, New Jersey. It's New York, New Jersey, same thing, but New York guy, and talks about his like my family's all dressed up. My mom's a liberal. My mom's like, I goes up to like a black guy, goes, I support you. I stand with you. And like, yeah. And like his family is like in fucking sweats. Like everybody's in fireman sweats all day. Like shit like that. I actually really enjoyed it. The special's called Big Guy, and it's out on Netflix by Rachel Feinstein.
Stop saying Feinstein.
Because that's what's coming out of my fucking pie hole.
I obviously.
Hey, Rock.
What's up?
Our next guest went from a secret weapon hired gun to a burn, motherfucker, burn. And again, he's catching a bit of lightning with his new band, Flat Black. Welcome to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast, Jason Hook.
How you doing?
Bro.
Not these two fucking guys. Not these two fucking guys.
Yeah, we get them a lot.
Oh, man, thank you so much for coming on. It's a pleasure, and we've been big fans of yours and your work for quite a long time, my friend.
Oh, awesome! Thanks.
And this is a nice time for us we get to speak to you. And your team sent us the album.
Oh, okay, good.
Jesus Christ! Here we go. Here we go.
Right on.
Here we go. It's time.
I like it.
Before we get into it, I just wanted to highlight some of the players. I mean, what's that saying? Rocky said it the other day. It was like, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go farther, like that type of shit.
Go with the team. Yep.
You're surrounding yourself with some really A-list musicians, and from what we're hearing so far, I mean, could you tell us a little bit about how you acquired these dudes?
Well, I put the word out. That's the first step. If you're trying to get anything done, reach out. So I have a lot of friends in the industry.
I'm sure,
obviously. And I just started calling people every day, all day. Hey, man, this is what I'm trying to get done. This is what I'm looking for. If you know anybody, I'm looking, and that's funny. I've told this story so many times today, but
you know what? Switch it up.
I'm going to try to put a fresh spin on it. For me, as a guitar player and a songwriter, I find that I really need a drummer as part of my creative process. I really like to work with a real person, and run my ideas past a good fiery drummer in real time in the same room with amps. You can audition a lot of parts quickly you could tell what's working and what's not, what needs to have more energy. Try double bass on that, not just 8 notes, and you can run the process so much quicker than to try to do it all by yourself with a computer and tapping the drum machine and all that crap.
Yep.
So, having said that, I spent a fair amount of time flying around the country, take my amp, my guitar, and I was going to play with people. I drove to LA several times to go jam with guys because, everything sounds good on paper or everything sounds good on FaceTime, but until you're in the room with that particular musician, it's impossible to tell.
Exactly.
It's hard for me, and I need to know. I need to see if it gels, if there's natural chemistry, if we're all like, as we're playing through or jamming, are we both heading in the same direction? Is the guy listening to me? Is he taking my lead? Is he following? Is he, are we on the same page? It's something you can't really describe in words. But I've done this enough times in my life where I know when there's a fit and I know when there's not a fit. So I took my time. I eventually found our drummer, this guy, Rob Pierce, who is from Los Angeles originally. And, he's just an exceptional player.
Yeah.
And I felt relieved because that meant I had found my counterpart, my Alex Van Halen or my Vinnie Paul, as a guitar player. I need that connection. So essentially the two of us started building the band together, and that got us into doing the oh so dreaded search for a singer.
Yeah.
Which is tough. And that took the better part of 2 years to find. I mean, went through a lot of auditions and meeting people and being disappointed and having our hopes up and then being disappointed. And that whole that whole process sucked pretty good. And
Rex Horton, I believe.
Rex Horton, yeah.
Rex
So we, I took a break from looking for a singer because I had, that emotional disappointment time after time after time. You start thinking, well, I wonder if I'm even supposed to be doing this. Like this is painful. But out of the blue, one of my friends called and said, "Are you still looking for a singer? Because I have somebody here that might work out great." And Wes was playing bass and Falling in Reverse at the time.
Yep.
But he was in rehearsals there was a girl that was part of their touring team, and she had been part of our tour, or my prior band's touring team. And she called and said, "How about I fly him out on his day off? And then you guys spend some time together and talk about music and stuff." I said, "Okay, great idea." So, after I heard the guy sing and I played him some of the songs and he sang them, and we talked about direction and what we liked and what we didn't like and all this stuff. And I started thinking that this guy would be a great fit. And ironically, he wasn't available because he was like, it's tough. He was very proud of being in Falling in Reverse, loved that band, and didn't see himself walking away for what was at the time a completely unestablished idea.
Like a startup.
Yeah. Like we had zero monthly listeners, as I like to say. Zero monthly listeners. But a few months down the road, I got wind that it was no longer in Falling in Reverse. So I got a hold of him. I said, "Well, how about now?" And that's kind of where the whole thing started. We got lucky with Nick, the bass player. We only tried out 2 guys on bass, and Nick was the second guy. So God sent me Nick, because not only is he showed up, he's in the same low tunings as I was, just as a coincidence. He played in a heavy metal band. He is in that lane already.
All Hail Yeti, right? All Hail the Yeti.
All Hail the Yeti, yeah.
Yeah.
And Nick is an incredible singer.
Backing.
So now I have 2 lead vocals to work with.
Good.
Nice.
Which is, I like vocals. I like everyone singing harmonies, and the 3 of us step up to the mic and belt out the chorus. That's powerful.
Yeah.
It's not something you see too much anymore. But Nick's got a hell of a set of pipes on him. So instantly he was the guy. And then things started happening very quickly. When the 4 of us were the final lineup, things started to cook pretty quickly. And I feel very blessed. It's really hard to keep coming back and get back in the game. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I just thought, if I just do what I've always done and work my ass off and keep the quality, at least on my radar, keep the quality up here, hopefully it'll work. And so I feel very lucky.
Did you feel a struggle to temper the excitement? So coming from the project that you were in, to try to put something together fast and get out there and put your music out and start touring, but also coming from your last gig, knowing what you didn't want. Is there a struggle to kind of temper the excitement of moving too fast?
Well, yes, but I know from experience that it's all about delayed gratification. It's the same thing about going to the gym. You're just not, it's a slow build, and you have to be patient, but consistent. And of course, I went through a period where I was like, maybe I'm just going to do instrumental records, and for my own personal satisfaction, because there was a desire to get back in somehow. But I've done instrumental records in the past, and they basically don't go anywhere. It's a very small audience for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's kind of a waste of what I was hearing as my new music. To release it as instrumental is kind of a waste. And everyone around me concurred. They were like, "You're selling it short. You might as well be patient, follow through." And, yes, I was excited, but I've done this before. There is no upside or little upside to hyping something that doesn't exist.
Mm.
I like that.
You can get interviews and podcasts, especially from my history. I could dig that stuff up, and someone will talk to me, and I could tell them that, oh wait, you just wait, and everyone, but it's all bullshit. Unless you have somewhere to point them, you're stirring it up for no reason, which is a wasted opportunity. So, and I read a lot of those like spiritual mantra guidance stuff on Instagram, and there's always one that comes by and says, like successful people build in silence.
Yep.
We don't brag, we don't show off, we just tell as little people as possible, because hype is cheap.
I think that's a great. I'm sorry, Art, to cut you off.
No.
I think that's a great attitude, because I feel, you don't want to settle, right? It's going to be a process, and I think human nature, how you say delayed gratification. I think human nature is the opposite. Like it's like we're looking to get it quick, and especially nowadays. So that is for sure commendable, because I guess you know what you want, and more importantly, from being so experienced, you know what you don't want.
Right. Well, in my mind, I have a vision for what it is I want this new thing to sound like. And there was a tremendous amount of music that was done for this project, maybe 30 or 35 songs. Some of the stuff was half finished. Some of it had a great riff, but the song overall wasn't that good. So it all gets put aside. And so you had to sort of overwrite to be able to get down to what is the record is 14 songs. So, and that's okay. That's okay. It's like you want, to re-enter the atmosphere as a brand new project, you need something that is buzzworthy. And so if you race it, or maybe there's like one song everyone's focused on as the big song, I thought that's not good enough. I need to come back with something that's a little bit more potent and has more big songs, or what people perceive as big songs. I don't think one is enough to sustain a launch,
When I commend you actually for 14 song album, because you could have done 9 songs. I'm good.
You could have done a 35 song record. It could have been a double album. But
go ahead. Yes.
No, you go ahead. I'm done.
Oh no. Well, what I'm psyched about is that listening to this album the last 2 days, I don't know about you, but like when I get into a new album, I find the groove of the album, and then it's like, oh, I want to go back to that song first. It might be the 4th or 5th on the list, So this afternoon on my drive home, I was looking and I was like, I want to, shit, which one do I want to go to? I was because I'm really digging all the songs that I don't hear on Spotify right now.
Right. Well, that's why I was laughing, because I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, go.
The whole, the modern day process is very different and very new to me. But we all agreed that this is a brand new band with 0 monthly listeners. So ideally, we're just going to have to carve off 8 to 10 months where all we're doing is try to get people aware that there is a new band. And we're probably going to upload 4 to 5 songs every couple months to just get people aware of the band. And what we've uploaded so far basically are album tracks. We haven't got no proper singles. These are just uploaded to Spotify. Here's a new song. I hope you like it. No real marketing or promotion into the songs. They're just up there with a video,
Yeah.
But we haven't even started the campaign yet.
And it's coming. It's right around the bend.
It's coming. I'm really excited.
It's cool to start. Can I mention a couple track names?
Yeah.
All right. So, you start off the album with "It's Okay to Be Angry."
Mm-hmm.
Aggression, catchy. Actually, the same saying I say to my wife, but that song, like I mean, it did its job. It's number one on the lineup.
It sets the tone.
It sets the tone for the album. And I hear, and I was talking to Rocky about this too the other day. I was like, his sound. Like when you hear his guitar riff, when you hear his guitar come in, his sound. This album, awesome from start to finish. And I call this, there's a euthanize. That's your fractured. Yeah. That's your fractured mirror on here, is it? Rock, for the stupid people up there. That's Ace Frehley.
That's right. Reference.
Ace Frehley reference. But what I really dig about this album, I hear your sound. This is Hook's sound. You brought it to this band. It came alive. What songs on this album were like maybe written? Was anything written years ago? Anything written now with the new guys? Is it all you? You came in as Springsteen was like, "Hey, listen, this is what it is. Let's go. This is I need this here, that here, this here, that here. Let's go." How was the dynamic with you guys?
It's a bit of both. It's a mix. Like there were a couple ideas that were in a folder before there was a Flat Black.
Okay.
And then there was a bunch of stuff that I wrote that was fresh for Flat Black. I start with music primarily.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to create tracks. And I think that if the music is exciting and the music is put together well and makes sense, that sets up the vocal much better than if you have sort of just a mediocre track that doesn't go anywhere, doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I try to get the music to a point where it's like, you're hearing it going as just music, you're going, holy crap, this rocks.
Yeah.
And the Nothing to Some was a track I had before we put the band together. Tidal Wave was a track I had before the band was put together. Villain. When I started writing for Flat Black, things got a little heavier, a little nastier, but I couldn't deny what I consider to be the like really catchy songs, And so I wanted to include them just because I liked them,
A bit of Lightning has Octane written all over it. I mean, who knows?
So.
who knows where it's gonna go and what who picks it up? But like, all right. So him, Rocky, and I, heavy at heart, right?
Yeah.
But suckers for the sweet stuff. I mean,
yeah,
a bit of Lightning, Home, Halo,
yeah,
really good songs. And what throws that dark and deep is obviously, I don't know what you tune to, B or dropped A or some shit, but that gives it that heaviness, that eeriness to it,
Yeah.
And I think putting them in, and I don't know if there was a meeting about where we're going to do a lineup of the songs.
Oh yeah, several.
Because I'm sure between the band members, it's like, no, we got to put this first. We got to put that first, or whatever.
Well, it's about trying to develop a smart flow. Because in a perfect world, I'm kind of old school where I like the idea of trying to lay a record out so as if somebody's going to listen to it and not stop.
Yeah.
And it's almost not unlike a concert setting, right? So in the concert, we open with the same running order. Literally. It goes, It's Okay to Be Angry. Almost. It's Okay to Be Angry is the first song. Justice is the second song. Sideways is the third song. Lightning is the fourth song. That's how the show runs right now.
Yeah.
And then you want to sort of step them. If you're going to have a moment like a sort of a smooth moment or a low energy moment, you try to step your way down to that moment. So it's not so drastic on the way in. It's not so drastic on the way out.
Gotcha.
So after Home, we get into like Halo and stepping it up slowly but surely. And then we're back into like Nothing to Some, and it's like your lack of respect,
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
I think that's the most fun that Archie and I playing music together was always constructing the set list. Like and thought going into each spot, almost like a batting order in baseball, like you just said. So
Yeah.
very cool
Well,
stuff.
you don't want to jar the listener too much, and you don't want the running order to me is still very important. And we had several versions of the running order circulating on an iPhone note. And every once in a while, we'd like, let's pull this one out of here, put this one up here, try that, pass it around. People, ooh, that looks like that could be pretty good. You also don't want to bury being a brand new band, people are probably only going to invest in the first 3, 4, 5 songs. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't. But normally, if you're checking out an album, you're only going to get into the 3rd, 4th, 5th song. If you don't like it, that's it. You're not going to make it to 14.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So you have to you don't have to, but I think it's smart to strategically place your important songs close to the front.
Please forgive me if you said this before. I was looking for this online. What do you personally have to do with writing lyrics? Are these your lyrics? Are these Rex's lyrics?
I'm involved in every part of the process.
Okay.
I come up with song titles.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the lyrics themselves, I co-wrote the record with not only the band, but there was a couple other people, friends of mine that are really good songwriters that I brought in to work with me when I had no one.
Got it.
And I'm not delusional. If somebody else is a much better drummer than I am, then they should be playing the drums, not me.
Yeah.
And I just want things to be the best they can be. And so I just audition what everyone else is contributing. And I'm not in a position where I love the lyric part, all that stuff. It's not one of my super strengths.
Mm-hmm.
There are guys out there that can just barf out lyrics, the cool stuff with ease. But I definitely have a good radar for, I'm, well, I don't want to say that, but I'm very interested in being articulate, storytelling, descriptions. That's sort of my wheelhouse. So when it comes to I'm very good at contributing to try to get the imagery correct when we're writing the story.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because that was what I took away from the songs I listened to, where I found myself listening, but visualizing and hearing and seeing the story, which I think is probably the highest compliment you could pay to musicians and songwriters. I mean, because it's you're telling your own little tale in this 3-minute snippet.
Right. And you want you want to have lyrics that you sort of can see the storyline in your mind that paint pictures of environments and scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
And in a perfect world, you'd be able to have the listener sort of relate to the story and be able to see their own story and follow along. And not to sound cliche, but relatable. And, all the lyrics are about real things, real events, real feelings. A lot of it, I would say, this is the title and this is what I have in mind for a concept. And then we would say, okay, well, what kind of imagery do we see? You kind of have to see it in pictures. The story is laid out in storyboard. So you look at the storyboard. This is all virtual in your head. You look at the storyboard and you go, well, I could see that the sun is setting. I could see the car. Car's kind of old, maybe mid-90s, got rust on it. There's a tree. It's a driveway. You kind of have to see it like that. And that's how lyrics come easily.
It's like the song Sideways that you have. Like in high school, Rocky thought he was straight, but then he started to go sideways.
There he is.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's my buddy.
Those comedy lessons are paying off, kid. Tell you that much.
I'm actually a graphic designer, video editor by trade. Nice. And I read that you're starting to learn a little Photoshop.
A little. Yeah. I'm deep into it now.
But you're doing it all yourself, though. This is, you don't have from what I gather, you don't have a team behind you, right? You're doing the artwork. You're doing the logo. Yes. You did the logo.
Yes. Well, it's not entirely true. I have tutors.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
And I have a couple call a friend in case, break glass in case of emergency.
Got it.
Guys that are much better than I am. And I I love software. I know that's not sexy. I know that's not the cool rock star. Slash doesn't go. I love software, but
Got it.
I'm
funny.
kind of a computer enthusiast at heart.
Yeah.
So you end up learning like all the Pro Tool stuff. This is my house, right? So we're in my studio, so I have to be at the computer all the time, and there's so many great things you can do. I am an artist. I used to draw and paint growing up. Not the greatest, but I can always draw something out to set an example. Like this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But I have been taking lessons, and the Adobe suite is like my best friend and my worst enemy at the same time.
Yep. I hear you.
But, as far as the album artwork, I did myself, not because I wanted to, because everything that was being submitted, I didn't have any connection to it. It was like just generic, has nothing to do with us, has nothing to do with anything, just a abstract image. And I don't connect with that. So I went through many versions of what the cover and the title could be for the album. And maybe one day there'll be a carousel post of all of this rejected options. But like in the 11th hour, I started messing around with what is the cover. And, every night I'm in the laptop working on something. And what about this? What about this? And that one was like, that might be it.
Yeah.
That might be the best option we have. So I said, okay, well then it's going to be a white album, which I also thought was kind of Andy Kaufman fucking unpredictable humor, is that the band is called Flat Black. And you wouldn't believe how many people would tell me, well, I know what the album cover has. It just needs to be flat black.
Check this out.
Boy,
I
that's
got
digging deep. Yeah. I'm like, well, there was Metallica's album, the Black Album. I think probably not going to go with that.
Yeah.
But I thought when I did the artwork, it was very deliberate. I'm like, I go, guys, check this out. The album is white. The whole fucking thing is white.
That's fantastic.
Hook, you done it again.
No one's really commented on it. Like, no one's like, I can't believe it's not black. But here's the thing. It's very hard to make striking images that are dark.
Yeah.
Sure.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
I had tons of people saying, why don't you just make like the whole album, the cover will be flat black, and then the logo could be like a raised, embossed, shiny black. I'm like, I see how that might look cool, but on Spotify, that image is going to be this big, and it's just going to look like a black box.
Yeah.
So you got to think that way. On a vinyl, it might be cool. On a poster, it might be cool. But on the digital platforms, it's going to be like small stamp size and just going to look like a black dot, it wasn't going to work.
I love how much thought you put into everything. Like everything seems like there's no wasted motions. Everything there's a reason and method to the madness behind it.
My wife would probably disagree with you because I drive her fucking nuts. But but yeah, I'm overthinking. I overthink. I'm a maximalist. I mean, not a minimalist.
Yeah.
I'm very detail oriented, almost to a fault, and but it has always saved my life. I don't settle. I can't settle. I look. I'm not a young guy anymore, and I've done this for a long time, and so you're over decades, your shit meter just gets a little bit more developed and a little bit more developed, where you can identify things that most common people can't.
Sure.
I see the details. I see the fine details, and I can say that's a little off. That's out of tune. They're like, you're crazy. I'm not crazy. I've done a lot of this. I can tell you right now, that's not in time. That's not in tune. This chorus could be better. I'm not feeling this, or the outro is a better chorus than what we have. I mean, I'm very picky like that. And I guess the most satisfying part about Flat Black is that I don't have to have everyone agree. I can just do what I know I think I can do. And I don't have to have have to work it out with anyone who doesn't speak the same language.
Yeah. This is your baby. This is
This
the hill you die on. So this
Arch,
is yours.
Arch, I actually envy his bandmates that they have somebody who taught themselves graphic design apparently, and use it to promote the band. I have a guy in my band who fucking went to school for it and beg him to make a thumbnail for you. But okay, I mean, listen, it is what it is.
Jay,
I've always
singers. Fuck them.
yeah, right. There's that great joke like, how do you make a singer disappear?
What,
Yell.
equipment?
Yell, load in.
Load it, yes. Fuck.
That's only funny because it's true.
Yeah, load in. Oh, what happened?
Rock, we're loading it. We're loading in. Oh yeah, I'm in an Uber right now. I'll be there. I'll be there shortly.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna miss that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So Rocky was gonna bust my balls about this, but I don't care. Now, on our podcast so far, we've had Liberty DeVito, Kenny Aronoff,
Okay.
Fabulous Phil X,
Right.
and now you. All in common. One of my favorite documentaries. I've made my wife go see it with me, waiting for it to come out. Like, I don't know what it was. I never took music that far to be a hired gun, but I couldn't wait to see this film in the movies. Thank you for, I think, co-producing it with it, right? With
I actually own the whole thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
with a Shrine, I think his name was. Yeah, you did it with a guy named.
I bought him out.
Okay, did not know that.
Yeah, it was he and I that started the whole idea, and it was really funny because he was riding with us as the tour videographer, content creator, and I would stay up late at night. We would talk about our favorite documentaries. Now we love documentaries. Now they're so fucking cool and all this stuff. And I said, well, what if we want to make something? What if I kick down like 40 grand, 50 grand? Could we make something? He's like, fuck, you can make a lot for 50 grand. Well, guess what? You can't. And we went, we started rolling down that path and things got very expensive. And there was, big teams of people involved, archive people, legal people, soundtrack people, you name it, right?
Yeah.
Crews of people to film and do audio and all this stuff. But I'm very proud of that movie. And again, I got a chance to apply one skill set that I think I have, or an instinct that I've developed over time, is I look at things from the perspective of the audience, specifically the perspective of the viewer that doesn't give a shit about your project. Most people don't. So how do you grab them and hold them? That's an art form. You have to remember that the audience is invested in a very shallow level. They don't care. So you ever had those you're watching YouTube or Instagram and it's like you've got 5 seconds till you could skip the ad, and you're just waiting for that 5 seconds to go so you can skip past it. But every once in a while, there's one you're like, well, hang on a second. Yeah. I'm going to hang out and see where this is going.
Yep.
That's the trick.
Sure.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. How do you get people to give a fuck in 5 seconds and make them not hit the skip button? It's the same with songwriting. It's the same with making the movie. It's the same with interviews. It's the same with everything. How do you make people not skip? And so I've studied that over my whole life. And some of the best guys that are good at that, I've sort of studied their methods. And when we talk about hired gun, I had a chance to apply what I think keeps people invested or engaged all the way through. We interviewed people for 2-3 hours, and I would just let them talk. And they would be like, don't think I'm going to give up the dirt on my, people I played with. And that's fine. You just tell the stories that you're comfortable telling. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you let people talk long enough, and pretty soon, somewhere around the 1 hour mark, they're unloading all their pain and the dirt and the shit.
Like,
right?
you know what? Fuck that guy, by the way.
Yeah. Keep rolling.
I walked out of the studio, out of the theater. I was like, Billy Joel, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I said to my wife. I go, oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the happy ending to that is that because of the movie, Billy came around and reconnected with Liberty. Now they're buddies again.
He told us that, yo.
He did say
Yeah.
that. They get
They're
lunch.
buddies again. So if I had anything to do with any part of that,
Yeah.
it's a positive.
Listen, I wanted to say before you get into it, Arch, besides like a fucking him seeing a sandwich or something like that, I've never seen him so excited over something. He literally was blowing my phone the day he saw it. Dude, you got to see this. Dude, you got to see it. And it was amazing. But I literally, I've never, I shouldn't say never, but very rarely do I see this kid get excited over something like that. We were raving about it for weeks. Wouldn't shut the fuck up about it, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
I followed it on social media, and I like maybe the Instagram, and it's coming out. And just for some reason, I just thought I'm a music nerd. So when it comes to new music, why is music made? How is it made? Oh, they wrote that song because of that. It like stupid shit like that. So
Yeah.
this documentary just drew me in. And what I liked about it is that whoever you did interview and whoever you edited with, we cut the fat down because I'm sure they talked for hours.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you just got what you needed to get the point across. And
you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Cut the fat. Everything leads to a next really compelling story and leads to another compelling story, leads to a very funny story, leads to a shocking story. It's, by the way, the film was edited by a very talented guy named Tim Calandrello, who actually I found because he edited the Foo Fighters documentary.
Okay. Very cool.
I forget the name of I forget what they called it, but it was the big one they did whatever, how many years ago. Anyway, the Foo Fighters documentary, Back and Forth.
Okay.
Documentary. So I was like, I'm always looking for Gretzky's. I don't want to mess around. It's not about knowing software. That's not what it's about. It's about your ability to tell a compelling story. So I found a guy that actually scripted out the documentary, and he put all the scenes on these little colored sticky notes all the way around the room. All the way around the room on the walls. And I'm like, this is fascinating. And he'd be like, this is the fastest way I can put the story together. I can pick up a scene and I can move it over here. I can look at it. It's like savant shit,
Yeah.
And this guy's very successful, and he was way out of my price range. So when I originally started talking to him, he quoted me a number that was unusable. Mm. But I returned to him several months down the road as we were editing this with these intern people that had no ability really. Mm-hmm. And I said, I got to show this to, maybe I can hire him as a consultant. Just look at what we have done so far and let me know what we're doing wrong or how you would make it better. And when he saw what was coming together, he's like, look, I'm going to do this and just pay me what you can. Because if I don't do this, you're going to fuck it up.
Because he sees something there, and he's like, "Do me a favor, don't fuck this up."
Yeah, he says, all I would ask is that I want to be a producer, not just an editor. I said,
got it.
Done. You can be anyone you want. I don't care. I just need a good movie.
So I watch hundreds of documentaries on, and like you said, they have to hook me. It could be about and not just music, obviously. Any I watch weird shit that I wouldn't normally be interested in, but if it's good storytelling and it hooks you in, I think a popular misconception about documentaries is it's like, oh, you let the cameras roll and people just talk and that's how the story is. But no, it's what you said. They storyboard it out. It has to be compelling, or else.
I'll give you an example. The director on the film, who was my partner at the time, had this elongated opening segment where somebody drives into a parking lot. You see the car, you see the door, you see the wheels, you see the pavement. The door opens. The guy gets somebody you don't know. You only see them from the torso. Gets out of the car, goes to the trunk, pulls out a guitar case. You still don't see who it is. Walks into the front of a studio. You don't know what studio it is. Goes all the way down the hallway past the Gold and Platinum Records into the studio, opens the case, puts the guitar on, plugs the guitar in, and then all of a sudden we're hearing music and opening credits. And I said, that's awful. That's a fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. Who's gonna sit through that? I don't know who this is. Why do I care? That's like 15 minutes of like I want to kill myself. Like we cannot, and we butted heads. But I'm like, I'm not following your lead. I don't think you know what you're doing. This is goes back to that skip button, right?
Yeah.
I'll skip that fucking opening. It sucks. I said, here's what we got to do. We got to find me a clip of Billy Joel talking about what it's like to hire musicians or anything that's fucking remotely related to the story. And we put that as the first frame. And that way we have credibility. That's a major superstar. People are like, I might watch the rest of this. Well, Billy Joel. Like, I got to a point where it's like, I don't want to teach anyone this shit anymore. You know, like it's not my ego. This is not my ego saying that I'm the be all and end all, but I just have an instinct. I think I understand that the public's interest is very minimal. And there's an art form to sort of grabbing them and holding them. It's the same with writing songs, you know?
Sure.
So, in a way, I had to take over because I'm like, not everyone knows how to tell a story.
And more of a gut feeling, I would say.
It's an instinct, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, they don't call you Hook for nothing, huh? Listen, pal, thank you so much, man. Like,
my pleasure.
This was awesome.
These two fucking guys.
Not these two fucking guys.
Yeah, these two fucking guys.
You never know. It's gonna be a dark club at the Starland Ballroom, and somebody's gonna yell out, "Not these two fucking guys," and we're gonna be right there.
Oh, I can't wait to see you guys there.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Where could everybody find you? Just throw it out real quick.
I'm on Instagram, just at Jason Hook. The band is on Instagram at Flat Black. Every other social media platform, including the URL to the website, is Flat Black Music.
Oh, by the way, Tidal Wave too. Love it.
Yeah.
That's the other one. The other slow one that I really like.
I think that has been identified as one of the 3 potentially important songs.
Good. From
the release date, is that right? July 19th?
July 19th.
Next Friday. Yeah, sorry, not tomorrow. A week from tomorrow.
Yes.
3 years in the making. It's a week from tomorrow. So everyone in my camp is very excited.
From Rocco and myself, we appreciate that you're rocking out. You came out with new music, and we wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Thank you very much. It means a lot. I'm glad that you like the record, and I'll see you in Jersey.
We'll see you in Jersey.
All right, brother.
Okay, guys. All right.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Hook. Woo!
Dude, the devil is in the details.
You heard it, and I heard it, and this episode is dropping before the album drops, and it's a good album. It's a good album. It's a good album.
Really is.
It really is.
It's dynamic. It's catchy. It's heavy. It's everything you want. It's not. And what I love is all the songs don't sound the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you could get into a rhythm of, oh yeah, this is killer. You know, this is a good song, and it probably is. And then the next song, it's like, well, it's got the same vibe to it, and that next one's got the same vibe to it, and you're like, well, these are all good. They all have to be on the album. I think he's you know what? Not many people out there know this, but I think he's a John Simons type of character.
By the book.
I think he thinks about
analyze it. Yeah.
He analyzes this. I think he.
Oh, but see, like that's, and I'll tell you, you being a guitar player, I know how it goes. He said he could, be pretty much be in love with a riff, but if the overall song is not good, it's like, okay, the song's gone.
Yeah,
not making the album. And I'm good. Listen, I'm actually glad that they made a full album and not just an EP. Their first release. You see, nowadays a lot of people are just releasing EPs and that kind of thing. So
EPs.
Yeah.
Well, July 19th, Flat Black, and it's called A Dark Side of the Brain, which Rocco has a lot of that going on.
There he goes. There you go.
With that being said, Rocco, what do you have to say to the people?
You just heard us talking to our boy, Jason Hook. And Archie forgot how many gummies he just took. He tried to order a round of shots, and the bartender gave him a look. And now he's not O fucking K, so I held him close as we both shook. because you just listened to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
We out.